Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Well, Anke Ma'at, send that to you. Mic check. Wonderful. Anke Ma'at, I can hear you both wonderfully. Well, as you can see, what today's topic is, gratitude for those who stand with us, honoring our supporters and prayer warriors. Give me a minute. I'm going to do the open reflection. And I just want to give thanks to all of you all, especially you two ladies, Sanette Sashat, and everybody else who's been reaching out. As you all can see, I'm here at the hospital now. We are non-stop at the hospital with my brother. So it's been challenging, which is a great theme for today. So we'll get into today's topic. I'm going to try not to be a crybaby. I will later. Let me just get through the opening part. But again, dua to all of you all for all of the support, which is why I found it to be admirable for this week's theme. There's been so many times, we'll go ahead and get started with it. Dua to the Netaru and all who've gathered in this sacred circle. Today we reflect upon the blessing that is often overlooked. The people who stand beside us during difficult times. When life is joyful, everybody's celebrating, congratulating us, giving us the, recognition. But when things become difficult, When grief arrives, when challenges arrive, when the heart becomes heavy, it's often a smaller circle that remains. I can't quite say that that's been my experience because you've all been um, holding me down for these last couple of weeks. Now, these are the people who call and check on us. They text us, they message us. People will encourage us when we feel discouraged. The people who offer a listening ear when we need to be heard. Those who speak our names in prayer when we're struggling. Those who support us quietly without even needing to be recognized. So today we gather to express that gratitude for those individuals. It's so many names that, we all know that there's been times in our lives, even outside of this space, when we've had to show up for someone or someone showed up for us in difficult times. Through our teachings of Ma'at, gratitude is not merely just a feeling, but it's a daily practice, just like a lot of the things that we do. So when we acknowledge the good that others have done for us, we strengthen the bonds of the community and we also honor reciprocity. What you give out is what you will receive. The measure that you give to others will be given to you tenfold because you all say, she said something last week, the one who shows up for everyone. I don't even see myself in that manner. I just do what I do. It doesn't feel like I'm just showing up for everybody. But I know that when I was in need, and I'm still in need, you all have been like right there on the forefront for me. The text, the calls, the even the adoration service. You all know how much I love being here. So for stepping up and doing that, and hopefully, in the near future, there'll be more members that will step up and participate and do an adoration because at any time, one of us may not be available. So that's very appreciative. Um, so as we gather on this final day of May, I want to pause so that we recognize that none of us reaches the end of a season alone. There's always somebody behind every healing, every accomplishment, every recovery, every moment of perseverance. There are often prayers that we don't know about. There are many people's knees to a bruise that we don't even know that are praying for us. So dua to them, the encouragement and the support. So let's intentionally today give thanks to those who have stood with us through challenges, spoken words of encouragement, offered guidance, again, checked on our well being, and carried us in prayer when our own struggle was low. And I know at times it does get low. Sometimes it's hard for us to even pray for ourselves, or even in my situation, even to know what to pray for. And to be sure not to pray a selfish prayer. For what's happened with my brother was sudden. This wasn't a sick man. He was working and collapsed while he was driving his work truck. He didn't wait for 3 days. On Monday, Memorial Day that just passed, my brother passed away for 26 minutes. When the doctor said that that was it, his heart started beating again. He wasn't talking. He wasn't even awake. My brother's up. He's talking. He's eating. We watched basketball last night. He's doesn't even quite remember everything that happened. So I know that the energy of prayer, the power of what we do together as a unit, as families, as my comedic family, even in our individual families, it's not just here in this space, but see what we do here permeates. It permeates into our own families who may not be comedic practitioners. Then you're able to meet them right where they are. My family is full of Christians. We prayed, we joined hands. They had that stuff. You put those things aside and you meet each other in love wherever you are. And that's what we've done, and that's what you all have done for me. So with that, I'm going to play the opening of the way as we did last week, and then I'm going to turn it over to you, sisters, and I'm going to be right here. But yeah, I'm going to just sit here, and if you see my camera goes off, it's probably because I'm crying. Just don't mind me. Before we play the opening of the way, is there anything that you two want to say before we do that?
That's it.
All right. Wait 1 minute. I think I have to add it to the stage before I play it. There we go.
Anetrak unbed het. Nuke unbed het.
Anetrak happy.
Nuke happy. Twau enter. Anetrak serket. Nuke serket.
Anetrak kebsenuf.
Nuke kebsenuf. Twau enter. Anetrak ast. Nuke ast.
Anetrak amset.
Nuke amset. Twau enter. Anetrak neat. Nuke neat.
Anetrak dwamutef.
Nuke dwamutef. Twau enter. Anetrak newt. Nuke newt.
Anetrak geb.
Nuke geb. Twau enter.
Anetrak shoe.
Nuke shoe. 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 Anetrak tefnut. Nuke tefnut. 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 Nuke tefnut. Anetrak pau enteru. Nuke pau enteru. Anetrak unbu enteru. Nuke unbu enteru. Twau enter. Twau enter.
Now I got to figure out how to get us back. Oh, just stop share. That should get us back. I don't know how to get it. Wait, let's see. Now, how to get us back on screen is one. See, this part I don't even know. I know we're heard, but okay, hold tight. Boom, something like that. I don't want to be in the middle though. How do you do this? Okay, that'll work. That works for now. For that, we say, for the opening of the way, we give honor to Baba Heru Ankra Samaj Sepata. Ma'ak Heru, bearer of, opener of the way, bearer of the Ankh, and custodian of Ma'at. We open the sacred space in reverence of the legacy that you have left us today. Dua, dua. Some folks in the chat, Ankh and Ma'at sent Curtis, Ankh and Ma'at sent James. Glad you are with us. Glad you're with us. I'll be monitoring the chat. You ladies can go ahead and take it away. You might be on mute, sister. You're on mute.
I see it. Ankamayat, Ebed, Ankamayat. At this time, we would like to give those flowers right now. Today, we offer flowers in honor of those who have supported us through storms, life storms, and we've all had them. Flowers are a symbol of our appreciation and remembrance. Today, these flowers are offered for family members who stood beside us, for those friends who encourage us, for the elders whose wisdom has guided us, for the ancestors whose presence continues to sustain us. May these offerings of expressions and gratitude for every act of kindness, seen and unseen, be with us, around us, and in us. We also would like to have the settings of the feathers. I have my sound bowl. So we're going to have 4 breaths of gratitude. May we, when we are breathing in and we're giving gratitude, we're going to do 4 breaths, one of gratitude, one of appreciation, one for community, and then we're going to exhale, not just isolation, but we want to exhale confusion. We want to exhale lack of confidence. We want to exhale anything that is weighing heavy on our hearts and our shoulders. And so I got my sound bowl. Hopefully you all can hear it. And then after, did you have something? Oh, I thought you raised a hand. Okay. After the sound bowl, we're going to take one breath in of gratitude. Breathe in and exhale. Second breath, breathe in appreciation. Exhale. Breathe in community, family, love. Breathe in. Exhale. We're going to breathe in Mayat, balance, reciprocity, harmony. Exhale, isolation, isfet, chaos, confusion, hurt. Just hold it for a moment. I want to recognize we are on one vibration. We are in alignment. We are in peace. We are in comfort. We are in grace. We are in love. Ashe. Ashe. We want to transition to adoration. Having centered ourselves in gratitude, we now move into adoration. Adoration is praise. Adoration is thanksgiving. Adoration is remembering the blessings that have carried us through difficult times. And let us offer in praise.
Dwa. We're going to start with our adoration for the next room. And then after that, we'll say open up, to the audience and everyone else for adoration and to discuss more about our topic for today. Hrw to my aunt. Hail to my aunt, Lady of Truth, Balance, and Right Order. You teach us gratitude, reciprocity, and righteous living. May our hearts remain aligned with your feather, and may we never forget those who have walked beside us in times of need. Dwa R Hrw. Hail to Ra, source of life and illumination. As you rise each day and shine upon all without partiality. I'm sorry. Teach us to recognize the blessings that surround us and to give thanks for each new day. Dwa to Jehuti, Lord of divine wisdom and sacred speech. May we remember the words of encouragement spoken to us in difficult seasons and learn to offer those same words to others. Hrw to Asar, Lord of renewal and endurance, you remind us that no one rises alone. May we honor those who help sustain us through our trials and challenges. Hrw to Aset, Great Mother of wisdom, compassion, and devotion. May we remember those who nurtured us, comfort us,
and prayed for us when our spirits were weary. May we carry that same compassion to others. Dwa R Hrw, upholder of Ma'at and defender of right action. May we have the courage to stand beside others in their time of need, as others have stood beside us. Dwa R Hrw, Lady of joy, beauty, and divine love. May gratitude soften our hearts and remind us of the love that continues to sustain us through family, friendship, and community. Dua. Dwa R Hrw to Nebenhet, Lady of comfort and sacred protection. May we remember those who sat with us in our grief, supported us in silence, and offered presence when words were not enough. Dua. I'm seeing if we're gonna read this now or wait. Yeah, I'll do this now. Gratitude for our supporters, for our family. I'm not gonna say our supporters, for the family that we have created, that has been created. I'm not gonna say we, but that has been created. Oh yeah, for all of us here who gather here, who come to this space to add our essence into it. This is gratitude for all of us as we continue to uplift each other and support each other. We know that, like has been said before, many of us who have prayed for each other when we did not know what to pray for. There are people who believe in us when we doubted ourselves. There are people who checked on us when no one else did. There are people who carried us through our darkest moments. And today, we honor all of them, whether they're within our committed community or not, within our committed community, with our own families, even things that sometimes seen and unseen. Because, sometimes people will pray for us and we don't even realize it, that they're praying for us. It could be something as far as something that I do sometimes. If I'm driving in the road and I see something, I might, throw a prayer out. Some people don't know me. They don't know if I did or I didn't. And I'm sure that has happened to all of our lives and it's happened to me as well. So for the people who have prayed for us, uplifted us, and sent us positive energy, even when we're unaware of that, we give thanks to all of them. Those who pray for generations they would never meet, our ancestors. Dua to our ancestors. Dwa to our ancestors for setting the foundation for where we are now, for praying for us when they didn't even know what we were physically going to look like. They just knew that we were coming, and they wanted to set the foundation for us to walk into. Dua to them. We give thanks. Those who sacrifice create opportunities we now enjoy. May we walk worthy of their efforts. Dwa R Hrw, Dwa R Hrw, Dwa Ma'at. Dua, we give thanks to our ancestors and give thanks to each other. I wanted to say this because as Sinesh and Kai was talking in the beginning started, even before we got on camera, I had reached out to one of my sisters who I love dearly and then I didn't even think about what the topic was at the time or anything like that. But I'm saying two people is always there for you and support you and got your back no matter what. Shinkai wasn't sure if she was going to be able to make it on today or not, depending on what's going on with her family and how everything worked out. So I reached out to some of my sisters and our sister, all of our sisters. I'm saying mine. I'm being selfish right now. She belonged to me. Was there. She came and she's here. And we
You
think
stuck with me. You're not getting rid of me. So yeah, you can be a little selfish.
And it was interesting because as we was talking, I'm thinking, yo, this is crazy. This is definitely something that she should be on because she embodies all of this. That's who she is. That's what her essence is. That's what her spirit is. That is one of the purposes that she is here for. That she supports everybody, is there for everybody. um, and I was like, that's crazy. That well, no, it's not crazy. That's who she is, and that's what it was. And I didn't think about it, but I wanted to say, do out to you for at the last minute being able to answer my request to be here with us.
It's all in
And so
divine
for
timing.
this, yes, for sure.
I can second that motion because Jeanette Daria, you and your sister, but from the very first time that even before we met each other physically at your ceremony, um, I think the year that I initiated was the year my mom passed away. And just, you guys you've sent me things in the mail. You know what I mean? Just, there's been a lot. And like she said, you show up, we're giving you flowers too, as we give, flowers in this particular theme. And this was inspired by the things that Sanette Sashat said last week. And many of us have had this support. Like she said, seen and unseen. But I can definitely say that I know from personal experience, you have definitely been that. So again, Dua, for being here. And again, we hope that any of our members, even, and we can understand when people are busy and their time is, restraint, but, we hope that at any time when we need this type of support, we don't consider this a show. It's not a show. It's not a podcast. This is really comedic adoration just for us all to come together. So anybody may be called upon to assist. And hopefully, those folks will be willing to step up just like yourself. I mean, it was last minute and all it was an asking you were here. So this is not the Shinka show. This is not a show. As you can see, I don't even have to be here. It just, the importance of consistency and us being able to hold each other on
Yeah.
this days and on Sundays at 9:30. Somebody may not ever even speak of what they're going through, but just hearing that we're here and that we, even by the topic that we're discussing today, is something that may touch their heart and let them know that we are here. They don't always have to be a public announcement that they need something, but at least that they know that there's a space that they are held. So do
Mhm.
off for that. Do off for everybody who's always stepping up.
Yes. That's right.
Yes, I totally agree with
And
that.
I just want to give, I would like to thank you all, ladies, as well. From the moment I met um, Be Wisdom, Sashat, when we were in our Herbaka groups, um, I felt her energy. I felt when she was in tune. I felt when she was out of tune. I felt when she was enlightened, and I felt when she was just not feeling it on those days. And so I just appreciate her. I admire her so much. I do our monthly check-ins to make sure she is okay. We still meet regularly together, her and my sister and our other sister. Um, oh goodness, Sesame, So I try to make sure that I keep the love, keep the connection, and not just comedic connection, just keep the energy flowing, the flow of energy, the currency of pouring into each other when we may not know what is going on, and we may need whatever it is we come together and need at that moment. It is given to us. It's given to us. A while back, after our initiation was completed, Spirit told me to get 8 of the members and come together for a Tuesday meeting. And we met, and then I named it the Great Eight Awakening. And we met for a whole year on Tuesdays for a whole year. Um, Life has since then, sent us on our own journeys, on our own ways. But I'm grateful. I have so much gratitude that I listened to the spirit. I listened to the divine, the Netru, to give me those tools, and for my ancestors to instill in me whatever it is that I am to be and who I am to show up. Y'all know my love language is gift giving. So um, you probably gonna receive something in the mail here shortly, also, Shinkai. So just so you have a heads up, you will be receiving something. And so I am grateful that I started this comedic journey when I was 36. I'm now 49. So, and I still feel like I don't know anything. But what I do feel is liberation and gratitude, you know. And so to know that there is a community of comedic conscious melanin people out here who are still impacting and empowering one another, who is still showing up for one another, who is still tapping into our inner selves and higher consciousness and divinity. And so I'm grateful for those things. I'm grateful for um, the intuition um, and just the ancestors giving me the gifts that I think I've always had since I was a little girl. It's just that when you say certain things, people think you're a little different or weird. But I'm grateful. Again, I feel liberated. And all of you all know that I continue to pray for all of our comedic family, whether they know it or not. Um, I'm grateful for the connections that we have here and what we've built together. And, you know, if it's going to continue to be the two of you or the two of us, the three of us, or whomever, we're going to show up. And I will continue to send prayers for you and your brother. You know, you're a writer. I'm not the writer, but you know, my prayers are gonna be long-winded. So I'm pretty sure I'm sure they were pretty long-winded when I sent them to you. But no, I'm here. Um, know that as a spiritual life coach, which is what the spirit asked me to be. I don't know which deity that is to be a spiritual life coach, but I'm grateful that that is what I'm stepping into becoming and being. So, Dwa to you, ladies, and I truly am grateful to know each of you and just the connections that we've made and what we've built together.
Sure.
Appreciate
You
you.
said something in reference to the Great Eight Awakening and how you all pour into each other. Well, since since I've been in the Kemetic, it's been ah, nearly 10 years myself. Like you said, you know, I initiated in 2021, but I've been on this journey for approximately 10 years. And St. James, I see you said duo for this space of adoration. You know, there's been a lot of beautiful things that I've experienced through this. And like you were saying, with the eight that you all were meeting every Tuesday and you pouring into each other. And what I've noticed and what I've gotten the blessing and the honor of experiencing, and to also to piggyback what you said about Sinette B. Wisdom, Sashat, every time I'm in her presence, I don't care how much time goes by, you feel what you feel. And it's not explainable. You just have to be in her presence to understand it. If you haven't been, when you get that opportunity, should you get that opportunity, you will know what Sinette Daria is referring to. With that being said, when you said something about pouring, you know, we all pour. Sometimes our cups are empty.
Yeah.
We don't know how we're going to pour. And I had a St. Jason, you know, wondering, how can I show up for you? How? Well, it's not about how, it's the intention. You said you sent a long-winded prayer. I read every word of it, long-winded or not. This this energy that we hold dear to ourselves and what we are able to do for one another, what we're able to pour into. Some of us have never physically met each other.
Yeah.
Some of us, like St. James, you know, he's a full member of ours. We've never physically met. There's a lot, you know, and I noticed that since we've been doing adoration and we've had this space here, it is bringing way more full cups. Um, they're being replenished, you know what I mean? Whether we have physical space, whatever the case may be, but we're able to truly hold each other. those connections that we've created are restored, because sometimes it's distance, the physical distance, and you don't get to see people. You don't get to, and you get close with a few here and there, and it's not necessarily anything against others, but you end up clicking with, it feels like it brings us, it's like almost like a virtual family reunion that we have every week. And I feel so honored and overjoyed after each session because I've been able to drink from the cup of people that I love and that love in return, that reciprocity. So, like you said, whether it's the three of us, whether it's another face that you may see here on a Sunday, we have, I don't even consider them guests. We have family members from other shrines. We have, people from all different walks of the Kemetic courses that show up here and that provide adoration and praise. And it's so uplifting just to be here. So, like you said, even if it's not the three of us, somebody will be here. And this space will always remain so that we can come here and be filled, especially on our empty moments. And I know that a lot of us, including myself, have had some. I didn't know what to pray for. We pray for healing, but is it selfish? Is it, what do you pray for in a situation like that? We had no you don't none of us know our time. We all know we're going out of here at some point, but when things happen like this, you just kind of lost. What do you pray for? How do you sincerely pray? So instead of praying for my brother, I prayed for the physicians. I prayed for the nurses. I pray for other people on the floor that are sick, because how do I not selfishly pray for him? If it is his time, would it be right for me to say, please heal my brother? You know what I mean? How do you really respond? Maybe that's something, maybe you guys don't have the answers, but elaborate, give me some discussion on that. How do you truly pray in your time of need in a situation like that?
My personal opinion is sometimes it's about how can I say this? Being in tune with yourself. And I think sometimes we have a hard time doing that. Talking to my son about that last night, sitting with ourselves, right? And because sometimes it can be scary because now you have to listen to yourself, be with yourself, understand yourself. But sometimes when we do stuff, we're doing stuff in we're just doing and we're performing. Let me put that way. You're performing versus actually being, right? So when you just sit there quietly, the mentor will speak to you, your ancestors will speak to you, and you'll know. It'll be something you'll know. And it's not necessarily always this big, again, talking to my son, this big woo-woo situation that happens, but everyone is different. But something will come to you, be a voice, a feeling, a sensation, a color, whatever it may be, and then you'll just know. And just speak from that space versus always being in our heads. What's the words we should say? How should it sound? What should I pray for? Whatever comes out, comes out. And also recognize that sometimes when it comes out, it may not even be audible to you. So let me say this. Speaking in tongues is not a Christian thing. So with that being said, however it comes from you and whatever is come out of you, let it come. And just be truthful in that space.
I agree. When you have a true connection within, a deep connection within, it gets easier to be able to come out and to pour out. The morning I prayed for you, Spirit told me to pray for 3 other people. And when I pray, it's hard for me to type because I'm crying.
Mhm.
So it's powerful. I can just say. Because I'm looking at your face. So for me, I get caught in my emotions.
Mhm.
So I just, it's just such a connection that I don't know. For me, it's just really deep connection within. It's a deep connection within, and y'all know my story. I live with my mother, who is a Jehovah Witness, and they have the routine that they do every single day. What they say, how they show up, how they knock on the doors. The entire thing is scripted, and she doesn't understand what this is. She doesn't understand why I have an altar. She doesn't understand that I still communicate with my stepfather. Um, those things she don't understand. So for me, it's just a deep inner connection. And whatever the spirit asks me to pour and give to whoever needs it, then that's what I'm to do.
Wow.
Dua. And that's real right there.
Yeah. Then and Jason was saying sometimes he prays for serenity to accept the things you cannot change, courage to change the things that can, and wisdom to know the difference throughout, which he learned initially from Alcoholics Anonymous.
Absolutely. And you know
Throughout,
something,
throughout.
St. Curtis, that prayer, that the serenity prayer is one of the most influential and inspirational things that can be stated at all times, no
Yeah.
matter
Yes.
what your spiritual background is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because again, the serenity to accept the things that you cannot change.
Right.
And just like you said, Daria, when I pray, I don't necessarily look at the actual situation that I may be going through.
Yeah.
You know, many of us, we see our loved one hurting. My brother's like superhero. So, automatically, like you said too, Sinette Sashat, you said, sometimes we are doing what's routine, praying for things that are not going to say not valid. I don't mean that, but you pray. We sometimes we pray for these miraculous things. You know what I mean? Without the pause thought before that. You know what I mean? Um, so I was careful. I'm always careful not to pray selfishly. If I can't think of anything else to pray for, even if I'm going through a really tough time, I pray for other people, just like you
Yeah.
said, Daria.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. I
really
think I pray. Yeah. I think I
remove
pray
myself.
more for others. I don't.
Hmm.
I think I pray more for others than I do myself. I don't. I
Absolutely.
think I pray more for others than I
Absolutely.
do myself. I mean, I don't know. I haven't. I don't. I can't remember the last time I said a prayer for me. You know.
I've learned to give
I
thanks a
don't
lot.
know. Because I wake up with an attitude of gratitude,
Hmm.
and I had to change my mindset of murmuring, complaining in my own situation. So when I was praying, it was it was like I said, complaining. It was murmuring. It was like, well, what is why is this happening? Why is this and why is that? But if it was a prayer for myself, it was more so to give me strength, to change my mind, to help me through whatever is to come, and to give me understanding of the situation I'm in.
Hmm.
And how
Yeah.
can I learn more about who I am in the situation? And what am I going to learn from the situation? So, yeah, I believe my prayers for myself has been more so help me with structure and discipline. How can I be a steward and a service for the people?
Hmm.
And and to the words that I say to people, to allow them to be the words that I'm supposed to give them, not just what I think, to give me the words, and and learning that tapping into spiritual gifts, I believe that's where I've been mostly in my prayer. Help me to tap into my spiritual gifts and not be afraid of them and not worry about what anyone else has to say. If I commune with the people on the other side, then guess what? I commune with somebody on the other side, and that's it. Um, and so I just want to be able to be, just really embrace and embody that. I'm not saying anything about, okay, I'm going to be doing readings and tarot cards, which I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those things either, but whatever I'm supposed to be doing, and who is supposed to connect with me to help me to develop and cultivate these gifts that I know I've always had since I was a little girl. So, and I just always mostly pray for other people. I believe I would say this: when I was in Christianity, I believe I prayed more for myself when I was in Christianity. But as I have moved into more of a spiritual awakening and a awareness, I want to be led by the Spirit to pray and lay hands. Okay, yeah. And I've done the laying of the hands. I've done the speaking in the tongue and things like that because, like Sashad said, I was doing it because I felt that's what Christianity had stored in me to do and to play that role and to be there to do those things. But now I've learned that this is long before Christianity. This is our culture. This is our ancestors. This is our spiritual connection to the divine. Um, so yeah, prayer for me. So the laying of the hands, the embracing and speaking whatever I'm supposed to say to that person at that time. I know it's not from me.
Do I like to share two things. One,
All right.
I'm gonna
Why,
start it.
why
Oh,
has to leave.
I'm sorry about speaking over you. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My thing is going in and out. Two things here. One, we were talking, there mentioned about,
Yeah.
with both of you guys about, praying more so for others than yourselves. And that's awesome to do that. I'm just going to share this one little tidbit, because two things I'm saying is keep everything in balance, right? So the two things I want to mention is about being in balance. We also always have to remember, in order for us to be those prayer warriors, to be supporters of others, we have to pour into ourselves. If we don't take care of self first, we can't take care of anyone else. So sometimes, as in our community as Black people, we always put everyone before us, and as Black women as well. It's our family first. It's our, our friends, our, children or whatever, and then we eventually get to us. And if we don't have anything, we can't give anything. So
Yeah.
I think sometimes we have to look at things differently, and it's not selfish. It's not cocky. It's not can't think of the right word to use.
Mhm.
Being self-absorbed, to pray over yourself, to anoint yourself, um, and even like Derek was saying, praying for me, show me direction, and help me to do this and do better in this. To pray on yourself. I pray that I am blessed. I pray that whatever's going on with me, I can fix it. It can be done, fixed, or whatever. But we have to pour. We can't pour to nobody else if we ain't got nothing to pour, right?
Right.
So
Pour
I
from
can't
you.
pour
That's true.
into Shinkai. I can't
That's
pour
true.
into Daria if I have nothing to pour in the first
True.
place. So we have to remember that. And then the other thing,
That's
when Shinkai was asked about what was our opinion on knowing what to pray and when to pray, right? What to say. Um, Again, trying to keep everything in balance. So we do have the side where everything is spiritual. It's all connected, but also remember and also going in within ourselves and things that I said like that. But we also have to be well versed in in the doctrine of what we say we practice, which is Kemetic practitioners, right? So we have to get into that written word, right? Those books that teach us what prayer looks like, how we're supposed to pray, how we're supposed to show up, the positions we're supposed to be in when we're praying. We have to do all those things. So yes, we can go within ourselves and do that and sit. But what also makes it easier for to get to that space is because we've read what has been set forth before us. So everything has to be in balance. So I can sit here and be in spirit with myself and know what to do, but then also it makes it easier to do it one, and then also have to get into the written word that has been placed forth for us to be able to know how we show up in this Kemetic spirituality, in this Kemetic as Kemetic practitioners that we say we are.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Do
So
it.
that's the one big thing that we all have to do. We can't have one without the other. And I wanted to balance that out.
Right.
And some of it is more of a feminine energy versus a masculine energy, and we know we both need both of them, correct?
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure we said that because what came to me, if I keep it 100, is we all of us are sisters on here, right? And we know sometimes with us, with women, it's easier to connect on that spiritual level to that space like that and with the emotions of it. But for some of our brothers, that's not how they were created. I'm not gonna say that. Let me take that back. It's just easier for us. Some of them a little bit more logical, or that's what they lead with. Let me say it that way. They lead with that. We lead with one thing, they lead with the other. We all have all of it. So understanding. So some of them go a different way with it. So again, in this space that we have created, we have to make sure we have balance for all of us to be able to receive and understand and know what it takes to do certain things. And for some of the brothers, for them, is getting into the readings of what we've had, those books that have been set forth before us. One of the things that St. Curtis talks about, and I do sometimes too, that we both have this book from and from the Temple of Anu, who's written about prayers and the positions and stuff like that. It's an awesome book. If you don't have it, you need to get it. Definitely a good starting space to be at if you don't know where to begin and start at with some stuff like that. So there is a thing that, we have traditions for a reason, and there's certain things that have to be done a certain way in order for them to be completely effective. So I can go off what spirit tells me, but if I don't have that solid foundation, I could be off tilted on what it is that I do, just listening to my inside, myself, my spirit. We all have to recognize that and see that, and also that we're not an isolated situation. And yes, we are on our own individual temporary walks, but there's still foundation in that. So I can't go off and create and make up stuff. Yes, we can build on it, but the foundation is there, is solid. And you know what I'm saying? So if we start off a foundation that we're bringing in, a certain way, I can't jump off that foundation and talk about it. It goes along with it. You know what I'm saying? So we got to work with the foundation and we build. And yes, as we evolve and move forward, things look slightly different. But if it looks completely outside of what that foundation is, then we got to come correct and go back and check ourselves. Kind of got a little off kilter with it. But I just wanted to bring a little bit of balance to what I
Absolutely.
said before and what we're going with this.
Speaking of text, what you said just reminded me of something. And I want to say this is from, if I'm not mistaken, it's the instructions of Ptah Hotep. You can find it in the Hosea. You can find it in the Maxims. I might be wrong about which instructions. It might be Mirakel, but I do believe it's Ptah Hotep, where it says, Ma'at is great and lasting. It's, in other words, it hasn't been changed since its creation. So just like you just said right there, foundation.
Yeah.
We're all in our individual Kepler process, but the foundation is the foundation. So we all must have, the foundation to be accurate and concise and not just manipulated into what we think it should be. Yes, like you said, within ourselves, we're led by our spirit, but we have to stick with the foundation and get into those scriptures and get into the sacred text. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that is critical. It's super critical when we're practitioners. How are we practitioners if we're not practicing the actual practice of the practitioner? So that's
Mm-hmm.
super important, and I'm glad you mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Wow.
And also want to say too, something that's come to me as you guys are both talking thought we were saying our supporters and things of that nature, and how we can I feel as though this space has been able to create where we can be supporters of each other, even if we don't say, for lack of a better way, in the same clique. Like you say, you kind of connect sometimes more so with others, but at the same time, that's still your family, right? So you still show up for them, and you still, even though we might not talk every day or hang out, or our energy sometimes may just clash, but we don't mean each other any harm.
Mhm.
And being in the space of understanding that and still be able to support each other.
That's right.
And I know the space has been able to do that for me. I don't always, and I appreciate the words you said about me, guys. But I also know there's some people that may not feel that way about me, and that's okay too. And it doesn't mean that one person is right, one person is wrong. Again, we're just on different frequencies, but at the end of the day, you still are my son, you're still my son, and we're good, and we can support each other
That's
um,
right.
when necessary, kind of thing. And I think I've seen that happen. Um, have experienced that myself. And it made me look at things a little bit different too. Like, okay, I don't really have to, for lack of a better way, I'm saying F with you like that. Take because but at the same
And that's
time, I still
the thing
got your back.
too.
And it
That's
made me even think about, I had friends from back in the day that was in middle school. She was my best friend. We fell apart, not a crazy. But if she called me today and she needed something, I'll be right there. And I feel like I have the same space here with a lot of people within the Kemetic community. You may not talk all the time, they ain't really want to deal with me, I want to deal with them. But if you needed something, there's something I could do to support you. They would do it and I would do it as well. And just being in the space, sometimes you're being supportive, you're just not trying to hurt me.
that's right. That's right.
Even if you don't fuck with me,
That's true.
but you ain't trying to hurt me at the same
But
time. That is
that's the
supporting and
beauty of
recognizing being.
that's the beauty of, so to speak, in this topic, as above, so below, so within, so without. Because just like you just said within elementary, it's not just what we do is not all about just the comedic, you know what I mean, um, practice. This ma'at permeates outside of that. Just like
Worldwide.
worldwide. Your friend, y'all had a falling out. I got a lot of people like that I've had falling out with. I don't have a lot of enemies, but I got people that I no longer F with, or whatever the case may be. But if you cold, I'm still gonna give you my shirt. And they would do the same. It's not, and it's like that. We got cousins that you're not letting them come spend the night at your house, but you're not gonna see them hurting. You're not gonna see them hungry. You're not gonna see them cold. You know what I mean? But now you can't stay over here because last time so and so came up missing. Whatever the case may be, we have that in every aspect of our lives, even in work. You know what I mean? Even the work relationships and the career. Everybody has that, and we have to keep in mind as we're. That's one beautiful thing about being a comedic practitioner, that it permeates from one. It's not just isolated here. It is. It is. It's all. It's every part of us, and it grounds us to mean to also know that people don't make or break you. You don't make or break them. So you show up the way you're supposed to show up, and when it's time for you to walk away, you walk away. It's what it is. I mean, it's the reality of it. So I definitely understand what you're saying there. And for our comedic family, regardless of who you get along with or you don't get along with, there's always still going to be a love there. There's always still a community. There's always a connection. And like you said, even if we don't speak every day, even if we don't hang out, I'm still going to be there to support you in the time of need. And I trust and believe that you would do the same. So I Then Garrick says, I totally feel you. I've been on this journey since 2017. I feel like I'm in the beginning stage. So much to learn. Yes, and Garrick, so much to learn. And truth be told, we're never going to know it all. If you're standing on a soapbox to say that you do know it all, then your slip is likely showing anyway. Because when you do know things, you don't have to stand there with the light saying, hey, my light's shining. It just shines. But you'll never know it all. And every day, every transition, every portion of the Kepler process throughout this journey, just like Sinet Darius said, just like St. Garrett has said here, it feels like starting all over again. You know, so I think it's great to continue to even recognize that it's a forever Kepler process. It's not an end. There is no end. You just keep learning, keep evolving, and keep growing into yourself, which is what we all do. You know what I mean? Because, like I've said before, the battle is always with the self anyway. And so is the victory. So is the victory. And that's pretty much what everybody in life, no matter what your walk is striving for the victory. Some don't know it's of self, but that's what it's all about. Overcoming the
Mhm.
war that we fight with ourselves.
So that made me think about when saying you always feel like put your babies in it. But sometimes if you sit and with yourself and look back to where you were 10 years ago to where you are now, um, you might see that you're not a baby per se because it's so vast information and knowledge and is walking forever. If you think about it, you know, every year when you're in school, for as an example, right? You have graduated to the next level, but when you get there, it's like you know nothing, right? Because you haven't done it yet. That doesn't
Mhm.
mean that you're still a baby and that you just at a different level. So you're
Right.
beginning at that
Right.
level,
That's true.
kind of thing. So one thing that I'm trying to learn to do within myself, so I'm gonna share it here, is sometimes we take for granted what it is we already know where we are because we want to be somewhere else. We want to be higher. We want to be in a different state. We see where we can be at. We see the end. But we got to take the steps to get to the end. And recognize when you look back, yo, I'm not back there where I was. I'm getting somewhere. So we need to honor that. We need to give gratitude for that and praise that as well. Praise that I
Mm-hmm.
know a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? I know a couple more meta words than I did 2 years
Yeah.
ago, right? So that
Right.
means I'm doing something. I might not be like some other people, like our sister Stephanie. She knows, she's a scholar, right?
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not. I would never be a scholar.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
with that being said, on my Kepler journey, I have moved forward way from where I have been. You know what I'm saying? Not measuring it to someone else's.
Absolutely.
And I think if we stay there and in present moment, right, instead of looking for the quote, like, I don't know nothing because I see this brother talking and this sister talking, and I can't speak like them and I can't talk like them and I can't get the words out or quote this or quote that. Mean I'm still learning so much. Just be happy that you know what you know now, and just stay on that journey to know more. And if you feel
Mm-hmm.
convicted, do more.
Mm-hmm. And on that note, I was looking up some some things from Ptahotep, and I want to read this quote that says, "Do not be arrogant because of your knowledge,
Mhm.
but confer with the ignorant man as with the learned.
That's
For
right.
knowledge has no limits, and none has yet achieved perfection in it. Good
Mhm.
speech is more hidden than malachite, yet it is found in the possession of women slaves at the milestones." And
Mhm.
it's Ptahotep.
That's right. And that's like we were saying, the heights of knowledge has never been reached.
Mhm,
It's
mhm.
impossible to reach the heights of knowledge. And in each of our journeys of life, until you get to the end of that journey,
We're all still learning. We're all students of life.
life,
Mhm,
and I call myself a lifer because we're forever students. Uh,
mhm,
and
mhm.
I agree with that one. And what Sinette Sashat said a moment ago, like with school and going to the next level. Well, guess what? So
Yeah,
you're in this grade preparing for
for
the
the next,
next step, but you
for the
haven't had the
next.
experience in the next step. You've only had the reading, the teachings, the learning of it. But now it's the
Mhm,
time to experience it, and you don't know what to do. Only of
mhm,
what you've been taught. You know what I mean? So
mhm.
all of so to speak, what I want to be when I grow up, and chasing the next what you can be at
Yeah,
this moment right now. Right now is all we're guaranteed. This moment,
yeah.
what has already happened in this
And
moment, that's all
right.
we're guaranteed.
And as the Christians would quote, allow us to be hearers and doers of the words.
That's right. That's right. And appreciate the moment, and like she said, where you're at right now. You're not where you were 10 years ago.
That's
You're
true.
not where you were 5 minutes ago. You know
Mhm.
what I
So,
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're forever evolving.
That's
Don't
right.
be in such a stressful state about where you're going.
Right.
I want to be, I want to be, I want to be. Whatever is meant for you to be, you will be. Right now, what's meant for you to be is right here, right now, in the skin, in the body, in the mindset that you're in right now.
Yeah.
So give thanks to that, and I definitely give thanks and gratitude for that, for being present right now.
Yeah. Ashe.
So, yes. Um, do we have any more comments or anything, sis?
St. Garrett just said, "Say that, Sinette." I think when you were quoting from Patah Hotep, he said, "Such a never conversation, much needed." So that's great. I'm glad this was a great this. It's always a great conversation, but um, it also resonates with so many people who come and show up here. We may not see them in the comments, but they watch every week, and um, we can be transparent because it's a safe space. Some folks, we've had a lot of experiences in the comedic community, in the Shrine of Ma'at per se, so to speak, because some have questioned their place. What should I do? Should I stay? You know, it's not necessarily about a title. It's not necessarily about, you know, any of those names and expectations. There's no expectation except for what you're supposed to do with you. So what I love about this is it encourages people to go anyway, no matter what that means. Your job is to continue to go anyway. You can't
Right.
be ushered. You can't be walked to your destination. Because if you walk with me to mine, I say it all the time, I might lead your ass to hell with gasoline draws on. Don't do that. Don't follow me. Together we can go, we can commune. And all of us are looking for that victory over ourselves, the battle with self. But don't be so caught up in what somebody else is doing or not doing, and these expectations of what we have in other people. You be that for yourself.
Mhm.
You don't worry about, well, this person ain't doing this or this person ain't doing that. The shrine is, you are your own shrine, walking, talking, breathing.
And I think also to recognize with the spaces, so like you're saying, this is a committed community for all. So understanding that even though everyone who's watching, who's here, may watch it later, may be initiated into different shrines, different temples, different houses, right? But we're all one community. We're all one
That's right.
committed community. And understanding that you have um, brothers and sisters everywhere. So it's not just stuck to one space. Um,
That's right.
and one of the her mentors, which her name is very long, but I can't get it. However, I am initiating into another house, and one of the things that she said she has done is she came up under Dwa R Hrw. But she had her own temple, her own house. And then from there, she initiated into the shrine of Ma'at as well, even though she's already, a priestess or what have you. Now she has this other temple, this other temple that she has, and she has initiated into. She said one of the things that she stated was that each temple has different things. You even recognize the point of each temple. They have a specific deity, right? One of them to rule that they as at the forefront of that house. So you're going to get certain things. So from the shrine of Ma'at, right? It's about what harmony, balance, reciprocity, things of the nature. Is going to be something different. Then you have one that may have Heharu or a star as the for the forefront Neteru that is governing that particular shrine house or temple. So you may receive different things, and there's nothing wrong with that. One of the things that she said is different ones give you different things, and we're all the same thing. We can learn from different people in different areas, but just recognizing that we are all still one community. We can't. You don't have to just learn from one space.
That's right.
You don't have to
And
just be connected
just
to one space.
shut off other sisters and brothers in the same community is to isolate, and you may as well be a gang, or you know what I mean, claiming sets, because we are all family. We should be able to go in any state where there's a shrine house, where there's the temple of Anu, where any Kemetic temple is, and find our people. Our
Absolutely.
people are looking for us just like we're looking for them.
So
So
community
you
is there.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I know it's hard sometimes, but many of us have that same story, trying to figure out where to go and where to find it. And that's why this is a great space, right? because here it is where you can have all of them and different things that you can see. I in Charlotte where I live now, met a young man. He wanted to be one of my employees, but he was been in a comedic situation for a long time. Young brother, he said he being where he is, he's never been able to actually fully get in community with like-minded individuals. So me being there, I was able to give him some information, some other spaces that he can go to be able to get that community, and also get in the community of men that would be able to uphold him. And the sister I could do was so much, but you brother, you to get with some other men to be able to support you. You know what I'm saying? So we're all here, and that's one great thing, I guess, somewhat about being able to have some of these social medias and things that we have now. That we it can our community cannot be seen as stretched out or not being able to connect with each other, because now we have so many different ways that we can connect with each other. We have this, we have the comedic ascensions that happen every other Sunday or every Sunday, but just by different houses and temples.
Mhm.
We have other different things now on Mondays, but we have with the reading of the Meta, correct,
Mhm.
on Mondays. And then on the Sundays that we don't necessarily have, Shrine of Mott has their comedic session. We have something else, right? The what is it?
In the evenings, you
Yes,
know,
Friday in the evening.
Vanu still does things. We have uh, Raseki Arts Temple. You can look up, Raquette Kajara. She does things nearly daily. We had Himet Netter that was here with us a couple of weeks ago
Yeah.
in Bar. She's got things. There are things going on, and that's why this is, like you said, it's a great place to come because it's a plug. You can find out information. You can find out again where your folks are because they're out there. And I know it seems like if you're not connected, you might not know where they are, but they're out there. It's not just here on Sundays. There's always something that you can find and participate in, get information. There's a lot of great information, a lot of good connections out there. And if for those of you who may not be members of any shrine and you're committed practitioners, that's a great way for you to communicate, commune with folks across the globe. I mean, we even got, he's here as Melanation app, but our Tahuti Forever, he's an, Phoenix. He's a Jati and Fee. So we've got connections and he's doing things also. You can follow him on. So it's a lot of great connections that are made here. St. Garrick says, Myrrh, the statements that have been shared regarding the things that the church has co opted, yes, and deemed belong to them. We know that already. Yep. Tongues, prayer, divine declarations. Yes, this has been our culture long before. Of course, when you see them, getting the Holy Spirit, what do you think we were doing around those fires when we were chanting, when we were dancing? Exactly. So I do agree with all of that with the communication. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. I've been able to communicate with people from shrine houses and different temples all over, and it's been wonderful. I've met some great elders, great, that I didn't even know were out there. Some women that are in their 90s that, like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. And they came up under Baba Heru. So,
Yes, amazing, awesome.
And I just wanted to include, it's interesting. I was at a local eatery, and a brother came up to me and gave me a flyer, and when I looked at it, it had Monday nights at some location. It says Sebait, and the only time I've heard that was here with us. And so I'm like, oh my goodness, what I feel like I want to go and find out what he's talking about, what this is. And so I text him and I asked him some additional questions. And so he says, I'll message you back. I'm in South Africa right now. And I'm just like, wow, so I really would like to commune with this brother to see what is it he's sharing. And I thought I had the flyer around oh, you know what? Look how the spirit works. It's right here. I just reached over and then found it. But he's doing a Juneteenth special. I'm not actually advertising him, but I just want to show you that he gave me this flyer and where to meet for the Sebaid sessions. It says a great milestone for Sebaid, and it's just like, wow, I've only heard that from our from the shrine, and so I'm gonna be reaching out to the brother. I don't know if it's for me or what, but again, there are people in our community that are, wanting to build the connection. I used to go to the African Village with Dr. Ray Hagan. That's who helped me introduce me to the Kemetic, being a Kemetic practitioner. Him and Brother Jabari were the two that I used to watch daily, and to help me unlearn the Christianity and things like that. But before Dr. Ray Hagan moved back to Atlanta, so the temple, the African Village is no longer in St. Louis. They have other places, Ohio, other places. But yeah, if I don't meet up with you all, then I don't know what's in my community, And so I'm interested in looking, but yeah, I'm interested in looking what this brother has and what he'll be talking about, and just to see. I went to another meeting that was from Dr. Ray Hagan's community, and when I went to his group, it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me, but I showed up and I participated because he branched off from Dr. Ray Hagan and created his own organization. But it wasn't for me. There were a lot of elders. I don't want to put the elders under the bus, but they came in on wheelchairs and walkers, and I believe they were there to unlearn what had been told to them, though, about Christianity, about our history. It was more so a history lesson, is what this brother gave. It was more so a history lesson than actually communing in the spirit and connecting. And how do we rebuild ourselves innerly, inside, to erase and dismantle what we've been taught. So I'm excited to see what this is. So
please share your
I'll let y'all
experience.
know how it goes. It's it's gonna be June the 13th. So I see the address is actually in the hood of St. Louis. So I gotta, I gotta go to the hood. So
Let us know how it goes. We would.
it's gonna be in the hood.
Yeah.
So I
Hey,
gotta make sure I'm safe. I don't have no peace on me. So y'all
I
just
saw
put
the
peace
comment.
around.
It's the next shot. There's
Always, yeah. I saw
there.
I saw that. No, no, I am not, and I think he's in Charlotte as well. I think we kind of
I think
mentioned
so.
something about in Charlotte in the What's Up chat. I am not, but we can have some conversations about that and see.
I was just
You
trying to say,
never know what can come out of it for sure.
make something happen.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right, we're gonna transition into our prayer request. So now open up the space for requests. If there's any individuals or situations you may wish to lift in prayer, their names may be shared. You can guys type them into the chat if you want to. We also invite everyone to share the names of those who have been a source of support and encouragement as well to them, since that is what we have been talking about. The day that was beginning, we always kind of silo off the different areas, put everything in support in our prayer warriors if you want to mention their names as well. We give space for everyone to do that if they have anything. While we're waiting, I would like to ask for the support of my Kemetic family, for my biological family, my children and my grandchildren. At this time, we are in a space of reconnecting with each other. and restoring. We're in a space of restoration. That's what it is. Yeah, we're in a space of restoration. This has been
I love that.
this is the first weekend that I have been with all of my children for many years. Oh my God, 7, 8, 9 years maybe. Where it's been all of us and my grandchildren as well. So just if the support and when you do have extra in your cup to pour it into my family as we're walking into restoration with each other and restoring our family unit.
Dua, Dua.
Wow.
It is so, absolutely. Um, I want to always keep Himneta Ames and Himneta Wasiri on our prayer list. I need to reach out to Sinette Terra to check on Himneta Wasiri. It's been a while since all has been going on. Of course, I'm not going to say I haven't had the time, but my brain hasn't allowed me to think about the time like I normally would. So I need to reach out to her to check to see how he's doing. We all see him that are our message posts. So no matter what he's going through, that man's spirits are always lifted. He is always showing up and showing out. So still keeping him in prayer to his continued healing. Of course, my brother Jay Lacey, that goes without saying. His continued healing and progress as well. I'm still in just amazement from what I've witnessed. It's people hear of these things, but seeing it with your own eyes, it does something to you to see
That's
what
right.
we've seen, and it's amazing. And when I tell you that the power of prayer and
That's right.
energy is no joke, I mean it
Mhm.
is just no joke. For you and your family, you guys continue being on the up and up. I'm so happy. We've had talks, so I'm so glad that I know it's been years and I know it can be a lot, you know what I mean, since the time, but that's beautiful, Sinette. I'm so glad your grandchildren, you're restoring, you know what I mean? Again, what did we talk about in the beginning? The ancestors that we've never met prayed for us. They never even met us, you know what I mean? So one thing I know for sure that they prayed for over time was the healing of the Black family,
That's right.
the restoration of the Black family. We don't have to know that they prayed for it to know that it did take place because we know how the Black family was torn apart in more ways than one, outside of slavery and everything else. The systematic tearing apart of our families. So for that, I want to say dua and Netaru for bringing your family back together. It only gets better. Your bonds are going to be a lot more stronger than they probably ever were. So just keep on, and I'm very happy to hear that. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And I don't know when you guys close out, but I would like to pray over us.
All right.
Yes, you will be doing the prayers.
Yes, I think there's only one announcement, really.
Yeah.
Well, we had Sin Atan's solar return. So happy birthday. Happy solar return to Sinatan. It was the other day. I believe today should be Comedic Ascension.
Hmm.
So that'll be at 12 for those of you out there. Check it out on YouTube. Uh, Anybody, it comes on at 12 noon. So we hope to see you there. I think that's the only announcements that I am, and I will be getting with Sin or Himneta Impu. We will be restoring our Monday Medu Netter. Join us. It's pretty fun. We do a couple of little fun quizzes in the beginning just to see where people are at, and then he really digs deep. So we're right around lesson 3, I believe. And I did put that book. I think it might have already been there, but that book, the file is in on the shrine page. So for all of you who like to follow along, if you don't have it, it is Middle Egyptian grammar, and it's in the file is there, so you can follow along. And with the exercises that we're doing, we go over them each week after he kind of goes in details about the lesson. Then the following week we go over the actual exercise that it provides. So join in Monday evening. I believe we do it around 6 o'clock. We'll be putting up that event sometime today once I get with him.
So before we give space for Sunit Daria to do our prayer, may blessings return to those who have blessed others. May strength return to those who have encouraged others. and may peace return to those who have comforted others. Dwa, Dwa.
Dwa. All right, I'm just going to go wherever the Spirit leads me. Divine Creator, we thank you for holding space for us today. We thank you for the gifts that you have given each of us. We thank you for those who have prayed over us, seen and unseen. Right now, Divine Creator, I ask you for restoration for Be Wisdom, Sashat's family, and her loved ones, grandchildren, daughter, son. I ask renewal for those members who have not connected with their family for whatever reason. I ask for repair for Jay Lacey's health. Renew his strength, restore him. I ask those who are holding in things, release it right now. We ask you to release it. Ask you for restoration and reset. Some of us need to go back and sit with ourselves and reset our spirits, our mind, our body, our ba and our ka. We ask for complete restoration, complete healing, complete repair in friendships, in family, inside and in out of our health. We ask you to touch the crowns of our head as well as the sole of our feet. Allow the energy to flow up and down our bodies. And all these things we ask in Amin Ra, Ashe, Ashe, Dwa Inter, Dwa, Dwa.
Dwa, Dwa.
Thank you.
And just to contemplate for the week as we've gone over things today before we close out with our balancing of the scales, just think to yourself, and this is not an answer for us, but for all of, not to answer it to us, but just think it to yourself. Who has supported me during difficult times? Who has prayed for me? Who has encouraged me when I wanted to give up? And have I expressed gratitude to them? How can I become that source of support for someone else as it has been granted to me? Because gratitude is not only something that we feel, but it's something that we practice. Remember to show up for those who need you. And just like Annette Sachat said, if your cup isn't empty and you haven't shown up for yourself, you can't show up for anybody else. So make sure to be present for yourself. Be your number one fan. Be your number one supporter so that you may give that to someone else when the time is necessary.
Dwa, and may this space pour into all of us as well to have our cup more than willing to be able to pour into others. And I think this is a great space for that. And we all pouring into each other's cup. So you pouring out, but something being poured into you at the same time as you pouring out. That's what I feel like this space is. Sometimes for sure have left here feeling rejuvenated, in a bigger space or a larger space of gratitude, to be able to communicate to just be with all of you guys here, and we'll be watching it right here now and listen to the comments that you guys make and the input that you have and the knowledge that you have where you are. How we share it all together. So that is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Continue to wake up with an attitude of gratitude. Continue to honor and support our prayer warriors.
That's right. And if you don't know, just like mentioned, if you don't know what to pray about or how to pray, just give thanks.
That's right.
Give thanks for the intention of wanting to pray for something.
That's right.
And Spirit will guide you. And again, get into your scripture. That's a great way to start. If you don't have a particular thing and you want to pray, get into your scriptures, get into your text.
Yeah.
And let the Neteru lead you.
That's right. All right.
Until next
thank you all for having me as well. I appreciate. I'm glad that you found the strength. The ancestors lifted you up to have your face on the screen, and stayed the entire time. I end up being the one put on the waterworks, so forgive me.
You gave it back to me. All right.
And so I just want to know, I marry you both, and and I'm here when I can be, and when the spirit moves me to do what I'm supposed to do, I'm gonna do it.
So I do out to the Netaru who guide us through every season of life. Do out to the ancestors whose prayers and sacrifice continue to bless us. Do out to the family, friends, teachers, supporters, and prayer warriors who have stood beside us in times of need. Do out to all of us who have done that as well. Maybe we never forget the hands that help lift us. Maybe we never forget the hearts that pray for us. And may we honor them through our gratitude, our actions, and our service to others. Do
Wow.
Until next week, we will see you then. Much more to all of you. And again, I give thanks for everything, you guys, everything. To the whole family, in the comedic community and outside. More to all of you. Let's keep doing this, building each other up, because that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
Wow.
Send them an eye.
Sharing my eye, family.
Shem MI.